Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. I have a fun one for you for this December. It is a ink blot or paint splotch or goop that has been dropped. I don't even know what to call it, but it's fun and it's easy and it's a little out there, it's a little different, which is kind of nice and refreshing. If you've been bullet journaling for a while, you kind of feel like you get into a rut and you are making the same art. So I went with 3 fun colors that I felt went well together. I took a pencil and made 2 lines and kind of drew out my numbers the way I wanted them. Instead of writing December, I decided to make just the numbers 12 as the title page, and I went ahead and did it first for the 2 instead of the 1. I felt like it was a little bit easier this way. And when you go in to make these drips that are coming out after the color has like dropped on the floor, just go in a little bit with a loose hand, and you can make them a little bit roundy on the end so you don't make these stretched gloops of color coming out that are uniform, but they go in towards the base and then out on the end and come back in when you come back to the center of that glob. And then going in with my Corolla Super Tip, it's a little hard because it's such a small tip, but I try not to go over the same color too much to make a little bit of a uniform color. As you can see on some of the bigger drips coming out from the ink blot, I leave a little bit of a white, like moon crescent shape to look like a highlight. You could totally go in with a white gel pen to do that. At the end, I take the same color and I put it on the bottom left, no, the bottom right of every extension. It's a little bit difficult to know where to place it, but it gives it a bit of a shadow. And then to heighten that shadow, I go in with a gray, just on the same bottom right, just to make everything like pop off of the page. I go in and do it to the little drips that are coming off as well, and all of it kind of just gives it a little bit of a 3D effect. Oh, and yeah, that was the kicker. When you put the drop shadow in the number, then everything really does look like it's just coming off the page. For the calendar next to the cover page, I take the same colors and I add in this purple, which I'll add a few more blotches on the cover page as well. The calendar that I'm using is a little bit of a small one, but my husband doesn't write too much in there, so it works okay. There are 3 boxes tall, with the 4th box being the line of color where I write the number, and there are 3 boxes wide. As you can see, I go in with a pencil to just kind of draw a circle of where I want the next blotches color to be on the cover page, and doing the same method where you go in and out, making it larger on the ends of the splashes and then also the drop shadow and the darkening on the bottom right with a few splatters as well. I even did leave a couple little highlights on some of the bigger drips coming off, just trying to putting them all like in different directions, so it really looks like it just has hit the page and went naturally all over the place. It's really fun making different spread ideas and art ideas with the bullet journal method so that you can also use it for organization. I have a whole year's worth of different spreads that I have for my husband's journal, which you're looking at right now, and also my own, if you want to look around on my channel for different ideas. Also, I make custom journals and I film flip throughs of those as well and put them on my channel, so lots of different content coming up soon if you want to subscribe. Oh, this was the last little thing I did here with the gel pen, just to make the difference between the 2 different colors of blotches. It really just separates them enough to make them look like they are on top of each other instead of melding together. Okay, so this next page is my husband's notes page. So I went with that void for the 1 and the 2 to give me the idea for this. I just wrote out notes. It's in Creole, so it doesn't have an E. It's a phonetic language, so the OA makes the O sound. But I went ahead and wrote it with pencil and kind of got my idea of where I wanted the color. So like the O has a little bit of the green and the blue, and the T has a little bit of the blue and the purple. And that way I didn't go over the wrong spot. But yeah, this was really fun. I really enjoyed putting all the color down and making it look like the letters themselves have been cleaned away from where the paint ink blotches have splatted. Splatted? Splot? I don't know how I would say that in past tense, but anyways, so it's really the same idea, just going in, being careful around the letters themselves, but with the little Crayola super tips, it makes it pretty easy to get in there and do the little details. My husband's journal is pretty minimal, and he has the same spreads over and over, so it goes pretty fast, but I feel like this art for this theme was so easy. It took me only 35 minutes to do all of the spreads that he needs for the entire month, which is great when you don't have a lot of time, but you want something fun, a little bit of color, something to give you a little bit of inspiration to use your journal when you don't feel like it so much. So yeah, I was really surprised when I put all the clips together in my editor that it was only 35 minutes. So I basically just sped everything up by 3 so that it brought it down to about 10 minutes. And yeah, and now he has everything that he needs for the entire month. If you can't do anything but you do the drop shadow, that'll definitely help it make it look like it's popping off the page. But this little detail with the gel pen in between the colors to really highlight where they are on top of each other really helps a lot as well. Okay, so the last spread that I'm going to show you guys is my husband's weekly, and because of our volunteer work and the different types that we do, we like to keep track of how many hours we're spending in each area. So I give him an 8 to 8 timeline, and I've been changing up the different formats. And as you look around on my videos, or if you've been watching for a while, you'll see that I've gone from horizontal to vertical, back to horizontal, to skinny, to big, lots of space for tasks, lots of space for notes. But I think I finally landed on one that I like quite a bit. So these days are separated by 5 boxes with a line in between for the hours, and then I have a note section on the very right. Again, adding a little bit of art to match the rest of the theme so everything goes together. I just use my white gel pen to put in all the hours and the days, and it just makes it pretty easy for him to write in things that are happening, events, appointments, but also as he's going along in his day, he can do a little bit of time logging so that he can remember back after the month is over and he needs to calculate his time, what he did, and who he talked to, what was the publications that were discussed, and all of those little nitty-gritty details that are helpful to remember what you did with your life. I just add the day and the date on the top, do a little bit of that shadow and white gel pen, the little drop shadow. Oh, I also forgot to add a couple little splotches, I think, but you'll see it in the flip through, which is happening right now. So thank you so much for sticking around. If you are a real one and you kept till the end, please add a blue, purple, or green emoji in the bottom. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next one.